Hello everyone, my name is Zachary Coop. I'm going to be teaching you some advanced breath techniques. So they involve releasing DMT and other psychoactive compounds when done properly. So before I release these, I want to instruct and encourage you to not push yourself, to not try to go really deep, really fast. To work with these techniques at a high level means refining them, and that takes practice and slowly moving into them. So though we can breathe really deep and fast and get into these rhythms and push and pull a lot of energy towards the higher brain centers, that may not be the most beneficial thing for our nervous system. So an encouragement to do these without a sense of ego, without a need to get anywhere. These are powerful techniques which are beneficial, and I do want to share them. But once again, the encouragement is to move slowly with them. In saying that, I'm going to be doing several different techniques with different body positions and breathing patterns. Several of the breathing patterns are going to end after about 30 breaths with a long exhale out. We'll hold that for about 15 seconds. And then a big deep inhale, and then holding that for about 15 to 30 seconds. When we do the second hold, I'm going to instruct you to pull everything up. So I want to go into some detail on that before we do the technique. So we're going to pull up on the pelvic floor and get a sense of pulsing and pulling up and contracting in that area. The anal sphincter is going to pull up. Your sex organs, whatever they may be, is going to pull up and in. Now it is of the muscles, and it's also energetically. So we can do this on different levels of our being. The stomach is going to pull up and have a sense of contracting in. One of the ways you can do this is pull up on the pelvic floor and pull down on the diaphragm and take a big deep breath in. Feel how everything pulls into like a hardened ball, and then when you release, there's a letting go. So that's a bit about how we pull in. So you can either pull the diaphragm down. The diaphragm is a large muscle that a part of it is underneath the ribs, and it can either pull up or down. So you can either pull it down to help build the energy in the lower dantian or the lower energy centers, or you can pull it upwards, and that'll help to lift the energy up into the higher centers, the higher hormone and glands, and that'll change consciousness in a different way. Another piece is to work with the spine. We can essentially bring energy up the spine because it's hollow, and there's cerebral spinal fluid in it, and once we get it flowing, it'll be like a conduit for the energy to move up. At the tip of your tailbone, there's a little hole. In that pulsing you can do, you can basically think of it as injecting energy into the little hole in the bottom of the spinal cord, and that may come up the spine. Once again, this is a refined action over time that builds. Though you can push a lot through, this is not recommended or beneficial because you may hurt your nervous system. You may bring too much psychic information up. You may push past and into something that's not beneficial. Another piece is the throat hold. So a slight tuck in the chin elongates the back of the neck, slight pulling up of the chest, slight constriction of the throat, and then take a breath and see and feel how you can refine the breath to move up the back channel of the throat and into the brain. It's like moving up the back of the spine or into the nasal pharynx. Behind the nasal pharynx at the center of the head is the pineal and the pituitary. When a lot of energy or breath energy moves into that area is when you get a good release of DMT and other chemicals here. So we can do this in a very refined way, and we're going to use a lot of energy to get there. So a hold may look like inhale, hold, pull up on the pelvic floor, pull up and in the diaphragm, choke the throat, and then squeeze the low body, contract, and then draw that energy upwards. You can help facilitate that by then squeezing the neck and then pulling everything into the head, and perhaps even some minor head movements. So though we're squeezing, there's room for intuitive play. So maybe you want to facilitate the spine by using some flexion and extension, moving it side to side, opening up. All of that will help the cerebral spinal fluid, the fluid that is surrounding the spine, to begin to flow. Once that's flowing, it has salts in it, and they are electroconducive. So once we start bringing energy up and around the body as we bring in the charged molecule of the breath, prana, that'll come through and that'll be able to wire us up a little bit higher. So that's a little bit on the breath pull-in techniques. We'll begin either on our knees and seated, and I'll show you a number of different ways to do it. On your own, you can do any number of these for any number of sets. So we'll begin breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and like big gasps. And we look to use our full belly and heart and throat to breathe in, and we pull up on the pelvic floor. That gives a container for the breath to move within. So begin 30 breaths now. Continue breathing. Breathe in all the way, breathe out all the way. Take a few breaths where you breathe in all the way and a little deeper, a little longer. When you're ready, breathe out all the way, hold the breath out. Push it all out. Suck the stomach in, hold the breath, shake the body. Come to stillness, pull up on the pelvic floor, begin the breath there. Breathe in deep, breathe up all the way up the spine, all the way to the top of the head, and hold the breath there. And now do the squeeze. Squeeze your legs together, squeeze the low body, pull the abdomen in and up, squeeze, choke the throat, stick the tongue to the roof of the mouth, roll your eyes up, squeeze the neck, squeeze the head, focus on the center of the brain. Relax the exhale with an open mouth. Find a natural breath, find a natural way of breathing to balance the body again. Second set, open the mouth and stick the tongue out, and then come on all fours. Same thing, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Begin 30 times. And continue breathing, add in any intuitive movement. Switch to mouth. Really pull the belly in and out, in and out, in and out, like a pump. As you're ready, breathe out all the way, still on hands and knees. Hold the breath out. cat-cows. Flex the spine. Inhale, hold the breath, squeeze everything towards the midline. Same thing. Pull up on the stomach, pull everything in, squeeze the head. You may want to tilt the head up and down to get the energy facilitation into the top of the skull. Continue, continue. Pull up, pull with control and refinement. Exhale all the way. 30 times, pump the exhale and pump the stomach by pulling it in. Mouth open or closed. After 30, take a nice deep breath and come to a natural breath. Come to sit on your knees if you can. For this next one, we come up on the knees. So we're standing on the knees. And as we breathe in, we want to have tight abs. So someone could punch us and we're good. And we're going to open the body on the inhale, and on the exhale, squeeze in. So this is a action I also want to happen on the back. So I want you to push your hips forward and squeeze your glutes and then flex up your back. Like the muscles, the erector spinae that align on either side of the spine, you're flexing them right to the top of the back of the head. So we'll do 30 of those breaths. You can either go in through the nose, out through the mouth, or mouth, and begin. When you're ready, take a big, deep inhale and hold the breath and squeeze the whole spine, doing a little back bend. When you're ready, exhale and come into a child's pose. Allow the breath to relax, find balance. Our next flow, we'll keep down on the ground. We'll come into a bit of a puppy dog. So your knees are going to be standing and you're going to have your head and forehead on the ground. And we're going to do 30 breaths. And on the inhale, you're going to pull in the stomach instead of push it out. And this is going to pull a lot more breath energy up into the higher centers. And as you exhale, you'll push the stomach out and down. So with this last one, it's very powerful. We're going to pull a lot towards the head. And on the last inhale, we're going to come up and do that same squeeze back. This is where a lot of people can pass out. So go really slow when you come up and take a small breath in instead of a really large one if this is your first time. So knees down, butt up, forehead down, 30 breaths, pulling up and in of the stomach through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and begin. For the last few, make them deep and long. And when you're ready, take a big inhale, come up to stand on the knees, pull everything back, flex the spine, flex the head. As you need to exhale, exhale back down into a child's pose. Relax fully. Now if you're doing this on your own, feel free to do that one a few times, and that one will really ramp up the release of these wonderful chemicals. And then come to meet me in a seated position. Pick a meditation posture, seated or on kneeling, pardon me. Pick a hand gesture or mudra, something conscious. Close your eyes. And though your eyes are closed, stare at the tip of your nose. Allow the breath to move naturally in and out through a mouth or a nose. No control, no effort. Please continue to sit here until you feel fully integrated. Even coming into a shavasana to rest. When doing any kind of movement, meditation, and breath, we create neuroplastic change. The neuroplastic change gets consolidated into the nervous system when we rest fully. Activity, integration, and rest is the full cycle. If we skip a part, we don't get the full benefit of the practice. Though we change our state of consciousness, much of the energy is lost. We want to ground it down, and then it will cause the neuroplastic changes. So please, sit here or lie down until the body has fully come to homeostasis, a place of balance where it can make the appropriate changes. Thank you for practicing with me. Have a really good day. Please consider to subscribe and follow this channel for more videos, yoga, movement, theory, and practice. Thank you. Have a good day.